The planet Eltros was a dry, empty place. No trees, no animals, no cities. Only sand and rocks as far as the eye could see. It was a forgotten world in a far corner of the galaxy. No one cared about it much. But deep under its cracked surface, something slept. A small crew of alien scavengers came to Eltros looking for treasure. The Zarlans were known for searching lost places and selling anything valuable they found. Their ship was old and rusty, but their eyes were sharp. They found strange metal buried in the sand, metal that looked like it had been made by intelligent hands, not nature. They sent a signal to their leaders far away, saying they had found something very old, something important. Nobody on Eltros noticed. Nobody cared, except the people who sent the signal. Far from Eltros, on Earth, deep inside a giant space station orbiting the planet, scientists picked up the strange message. The signal was not like anything from aliens or natural sources. It was artificial. It was coded in a language humans could understand. English. General Carter sat in the command room, staring at the data. "What is this?" he asked. His voice was low but tense. "This signal is old, very old, and it's coming from Eltros." A young technician showed him a picture from the scanners. It was a shape buried under the sand. It looked like a ship, but not any ship they knew. It was huge, ancient, and it was glowing. General Carter ordered a team to be sent to the planet to find out what this was. The team was small, fast, and ready for anything. They landed on the dusty surface, stepping carefully. The air was thin, and the sun was hot. They walked toward the glowing metal. The ship was covered by thick layers of sand and rock. It was so big that it made their small ship look tiny. The surface was scratched and damaged, but still strong. The team started digging and exploring. Inside, the walls were dark but lined with old lights that flickered on. Machines hummed softly. The ship was alive, or at least something inside. It was. One of the team members found a control panel. It was covered in dust, but when he touched it, the ship suddenly lit up. Screens glowed with strange symbols, and a deep voice echoed through the halls. "Identify yourself," it said. The team froze. The voice was calm but cold, like a soldier who had waited a long time. The leader of the team said, "We are from Earth. We mean no harm." The voice paused and then answered, "Authorization needed. Confirm human command." The team looked at each other in surprise. This ship was human? But it was so old, so advanced, and it seemed to be waiting for someone. Back on Earth, experts studied the data sent by the team. They realized this ship was called the Black Star. It was a warship built during a dark time, before Earth joined the Galactic Union. It had been lost for thousands of years. The Black Star was different from all the ships in the galaxy now. It had weapons and technology far beyond modern standards. It was like finding a sleeping giant. The discovery shocked everyone. The Black Star could change everything. The alien scavengers who first found the ship were no longer on the planet. Their ship had disappeared, and no one knew what happened to them. The Earth team explored deeper inside the Black Star. They found old rooms filled with armor, weapons, and strange machines. The ship's AI was active and cold. It introduced itself as Revenant, an ancient tactical mind. It spoke of a war long ago, a war against a terrible enemy called the Zarkon, Swarm. The Black Star had been sent to fight, but it disappeared before the last battle. Now it was awake. It wanted to know if the war was over. General Carter told Revenant about the peace after the war, the Galactic Union, and the new threats rising. Revenant did not care for peace. It only knew war. Meanwhile, the Galactic Empire learned about the Black Star's awakening. They sent a huge fleet to destroy the ship before Earth could use it. The Earth team prepared for battle with the help of the Black Star's powerful weapons. The warship fired a single shot that destroyed an enemy battleship instantly. The galaxy watched in shock. The discovery of the Black Star had changed the war. It had changed everything. The old gods of war had returned. This was just the beginning. General Carter sat silently in the dim light of the command room. The message from the ancient warship had shaken the whole Earth Defense Alliance. It was a warship from a time before history, before anyone alive could even imagine the galaxy's vast wars. Now, it was awake, and it was calling. Outside the window, stars glittered cold and distant. Carter's mind raced. How had this ship survived so long? What power did it hold? Could it really change the future? Earth had sent a small team to the planet Eltros. Their mission was simple: explore, gather data, and understand the warship. The team moved cautiously through the warship's long, dark corridors. Every step echoed like a heartbeat in the quiet. The walls were covered with strange symbols and faded images. The light flickered, as if the ship itself was breathing. The team felt a mix of fear and awe. This was not just a machine. It was a relic of human history, an echo from a forgotten time. Then, a soft hum began deep inside the ship. The AI, called Revenant, started to speak again. Its voice was calm but firm. "Is the war over?" it asked. The team leader, Lieutenant Sarah, replied carefully, "Yes. The war ended long ago. We live in peace now." Revenant was silent, for a moment as if thinking. Then it said, "War is the way of survival. Peace is temporary." Sarah looked around. The ship seemed alive, watching them, waiting. The AI knew more than anyone expected. Suddenly, a warning signal flashed. Sensors detected movement outside. The Galactic Empire had arrived. Their fleet was large and close. They wanted the ship destroyed. Back on Earth, the news spread quickly. The ancient warship was no longer a secret. The galaxy watched with wide eyes. Could Earth control such power again? The Earth team moved fast. They prepared the ship's systems for defense. The weapons were unlike anything used today. Silent energy pulses that could stop an enemy before they could react. The Galactic Empire sent a message: "Surrender the ship. Do not make us act." The answer came not in words but in action. The warship fired a pulse so strong it shattered the space around it. The Empire's largest vessel was caught in the blast and disabled. Across the galaxy, many watched in silence. A new force had awakened and it was ready. General Carter stared at the stars once more. "The game has changed," he whispered. "The past is not dead. It has returned." The ancient human warship was no longer lost in the dust. It was the key to Earth's future. The air inside the warship felt heavy, filled with a quiet tension. Lieutenant Sarah and her team moved carefully through the dim halls of the Black Star. Every step they took echoed like a whisper from the past, reminding them of the long years this ship had been silent and forgotten. The ship was much more than a machine. It was a memory of an ancient war, and it held secrets no one was ready to face. The AI called Revenant spoke again. Its voice was steady and clear, like a guide lost in time. This warship was created for a war that shaped the future. It was built to face the Zarkon swarm, a force that almost destroyed humanity long ago. It disappeared before the final battle. Now, it is awake. Sarah looked at her team. None of them could fully understand the weight of the words. The Zarkon swarm was known only in history books and old stories, a shadow from a dark past no one wanted to remember. But here, in this silent ship, the past was alive. The warship's technology was far beyond anything Earth had today. Its energy systems were powerful, yet silent. The weapons it held were designed not for destruction, but to stop threats before they could grow. The Black Star was not just a warship, it was a shield, a last hope. As the team explored, they found rooms filled with old but functional machines. Some showed scenes from past battles, memories stored in holograms. These images told stories of bravery, loss, and the endless fight for survival. Suddenly, the AI said, "The Zarkon swarm was defeated, but new dangers have risen. The Galactic Empire seeks control of this ship and the power it holds. They want to erase humanity's past to shape the future." Sarah's heart quickened. The Empire was a growing force, known for its control and fear. If they took the Black Star, Earth and its allies could lose everything. Back on Earth, leaders debated what to do. Some feared the power the ship held, worried it might bring conflict. Others believed it was the key to protecting humanity from future threats. The Black Star's AI continued to activate more of the ship's systems. It showed them hidden compartments, secret communication links, and long-range scanners. The ship was a fortress built for a time when survival meant being prepared for anything. As the Galactic Empire's fleet moved closer to Eltros, Earth's team worked faster. The Black Star was awakening not just in power, but in purpose. It was ready to stand again as a guardian of humanity. The stars above Eltros seemed to hold their breath. The past and the future were about to collide. The Black Star was no longer just a lost ship in the dust. It was a symbol of hope and strength. Its story was just beginning. Sarah looked out into space and whispered, "We must be ready. The future depends on it." The silence of space was broken by the soft hum of the ancient ship's engines waking from their long sleep. Inside the Black Star, lights flickered on, casting pale shadows along the cold metal walls. Lieutenant Sarah stood at the command deck, her eyes wide with both awe and a growing sense of responsibility. The ship was more than metal and wires. It was a legacy waiting to be fulfilled. Outside, the stars shimmered like distant eyes watching this moment. The Galactic Empire's fleet was moving steadily toward Eltros, their intent clear. They wanted the Black Star gone, but Sarah knew the ship had a different plan. It was ready to protect itself and those who called Earth home. The Black Star's AI, Revenant, spoke calmly. "Systems coming online. Defensive measures operational. We must prepare for engagement, but not for conflict. Our strength is protection, not destruction." Sarah's team worked quickly, guided by the AI's ancient knowledge. The ship responded smoothly, its systems syncing with the modern Earth tech brought aboard. Sensors scanned the nearby space for any sign of the approaching fleet. The Black Star was awakening like a sleeping giant stretching its limbs, ready to stand guard once more. As preparations continued, strange signals began to appear on the scanners. These were not from the Empire. Unknown transmissions echoed through space, messages from distant parts of the galaxy. Some were warnings, others cries for help. The Black Star was not just a warship, it was a beacon drawing the attention of many. Sarah listened carefully. The galaxy was watching. Hidden threats lurked beyond the stars, and the Black Star's return was changing the balance of power. In the quiet moments, Sarah thought of the ship's history. It was built when humanity faced its darkest hours. Its mission was to protect, to survive, to carry hope. Now that hope rested on her shoulders. The Galactic Empire's fleet was closing in. Their large ships cast shadows across the starfield, a silent threat. But the Black Star did not fear. Its energy cores glowed brighter, ready to shield and defend. Then, a soft vibration ran through the ship. The ancient engines hummed stronger. The Black Star was not just waking, it was alive. Suddenly, the ship's communication systems opened a channel. A voice, calm and strong, spoke to the approaching fleet. "This vessel is under the protection of Earth. We seek no conflict. Withdraw and consider peace." There was silence in response. The Empire's fleet hesitated, unsure what to do with a power they had not expected. Sarah stood tall. The moment was clear. The Black Star was a symbol, a reminder that even the oldest strength could shine bright again. The future was uncertain. But one thing was sure, the galaxy had changed and Earth was ready to stand firm. The Black Star's message had rippled through the vastness of space, and the silence that followed was heavy with expectation. Lieutenant Sarah stood by the viewport, watching the stars as if they might speak back. The Galactic Empire's fleet had paused, caught between doubt and decision. But the Black Star was not just a ship. It was a turning point, a reminder of a time when humanity stood tall against impossible odds. Inside the warship, the ancient systems continued to hum with life. Sensors scanned the darkness, picking up signals that told stories of distant worlds and quiet struggles. The Black Star was a guardian, awakening not just for Earth but for many who still hoped for peace. The Earth Defense Alliance sent out envoys to the Galactic Empire hoping to open talks. But the Empire was wary. They saw the Black Star as a threat, a challenge to their control. Sarah understood this well. Power could be frightening, especially when it was unexpected. Meanwhile, on board the Black Star, the crew explored further. They discovered hidden chambers with records of past missions, logbooks that spoke of sacrifice and courage. Each story was a piece of history, a lesson in strength and survival. The ship seemed to carry the weight of those who had come before. Their hopes intertwined with the present. The AI, Revenant, shared more details. It explained how the Black Star's technology was designed not just for war but for protection, shields that could hold against the strongest force, sensors that could detect danger before it arrived. It was a masterpiece of a lost era, reborn at the right moment. The Galactic Empire sent scouts to observe the Black Star, cautious but curious. They saw the power of the ship and realized it was not a simple weapon, but a symbol of human resilience. The galaxy began to whisper about Earth's return, about a force that refused to be forgotten. Back on Earth, people watched the skies, wondering what the future would hold. The Black Star was a reminder that even the oldest stories could rise again and change everything. Sarah felt the weight of her role growing. The warship was no longer just a relic. It was a promise that humanity's spirit was unbreakable, that peace could be defended, and that the future was still to be written. The stars above glowed softly, as if in approval. The Black Star was ready, the galaxy was listening, and the next chapter was about to begin. The ancient warship floated silently in the vastness of space, its presence a beacon of hope and mystery. Lieutenant Sarah stood at the bridge, her gaze fixed on the endless stars stretching beyond the viewport. The Black Star was no longer just a relic. It had become a symbol of humanity's resilience and the promise of a new beginning. The Galactic Empire's fleet had retreated for now, but everyone knew the peace was fragile. Messages from distant worlds arrived constantly, some filled with curiosity, others with caution. The galaxy was awakening to the return of a power thought lost, and the whispers of change spread like wildfire. Inside the ship, the AI Revenant worked tirelessly, integrating ancient systems with modern technology. It was a dance of old and new, creating a harmony that few could understand but all could feel. The Black Star's core pulsed gently, alive with energy and purpose. Sarah's team explored deeper into the ship's labyrinth, discovering chambers filled with knowledge, maps of stars long forgotten, plans for peace, and warnings of dangers yet to come. Each discovery was a reminder that the ship had been built not just for war, but for the survival of humanity's ideals. Back on Earth, leaders debated the best path forward. Some wanted to use the Black Star's power to assert dominance, while others believed its true strength was in protection and alliance. Sarah knew the choice was theirs, but the ship's legacy was clear: unity, hope, and vigilance. As days passed, allies from distant systems began to arrive, drawn by the Black Star's call. Together they formed a new coalition, one that valued peace but stood ready to defend it. The ancient warship became the heart of this alliance, a reminder that even in darkness light could be found. Sarah stood once more on the bridge, feeling the weight of history and the spark of the future. The Black Star's engines hummed softly, ready to guide humanity through the challenges ahead. The galaxy was vast and full of unknowns, but the past had returned to protect the future. The ancient human warship was no longer lost. It was the dawn of a new era,